I'm Matt Rodchinsky for Hornets.com, being joined by Hornets Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations, Jeff Peterson. Jeff, thrilled to have you here in Charlotte, as are all of our fans, everybody on staff. First off, just talk to me about how you're feeling, how excited you are, and why you think this was a perfect fit for you.
Well, first of all, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm so excited. This is truly a dream come true. Just to be sitting in this seat, have this opportunity. It's a special franchise. The fans are amazing, not just in this beautiful city of Charlotte, but the Carolinas. And I can't wait to continue to build something special here with Rick and Gabe, with their partnership and their vision. Just going through the interview process to see how aligned we are in our vision and values and what we're going to bring to this city. I just cannot wait. What
is that vision and those values for you, if you would want to let Hornets fans know?
Absolutely. I think Rick and Gabe have been pretty clear that they want to turn this into the premier franchise. And when I heard them first say that, it was music to my ears, because I don't think we want to turn this into something that's a short-term fix. We want sustainable success. We want this to be a consistent winner. And more importantly, it's something that we're going to do with the right people, character, and just have a blast doing it.
For you, they had over 12 candidates that they interviewed for this position, reported by the news. What does that mean to you that you were the guy that stood out, and what do you think it was that caused you to stand out in Rick and Gabe's eyes?
It means a lot. Again, I wouldn't be here. I've had so many people help me in my life, family, friends, so I'm very thankful for that opportunity. There's a lot of really, really qualified candidates and good people that could have done the job as well, but I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I think, again, I'll go back to just the three of us, our visions and values, they just align so well. And, I think it's something that we'll always be able to lean on and go back to when obviously things will get hard at times and we'll have a lot of success, but we'll be able to disagree at times and have those thorough conversations and always, do what's best for the franchise long term.
For you, with Gabe and Rick, obviously you had that relationship with them in Atlanta, but what are some of those key factors looking back in Atlanta? Because you were looked at somebody who was making a meteoric rise, I think is what they had called it, when you went from being an intern to being an assistant general manager in 4 years. What did that take for you? What was the key for you in order to advance that quickly?
First and foremost, man, I just want to give credit to the staff that was around me at the time, and players, quite frankly, coaches, players, front office, performance. They helped me tremendously. I made a ton of mistakes, but because of that, I was able to learn going through it. So they, I can't give them enough credit where I started my career and just kind of matured throughout it. At the same time, I put the time in, I put the work and, study the game and try to get better in areas of weaknesses for myself. And I think that, the biggest thing at the end of the day, I just try to show up every day, treat people with respect, and keep my head down. And 12 years later, I'm sitting here. So.
You are only 35 years old, and they talk about being the youngest lead executive in the NBA. But you've got experience of a veteran, even though you're only 35 years old. Does that put any more pressure on you in that regard as well, knowing that, hey, I'm taking a role where I'm a little bit younger than most of the guys in it, even though I might be more experienced in some ways?
No, I don't see any added pressure at all. Again, I look at it as a benefit, spending those 7 seasons in Atlanta and now this past 5 seasons in Brooklyn. I've seen a lot. So, rebuilding teams, 60-win team in Atlanta, putting a team together full of stars with Kevin, Kai, James, just the ups and downs over the years. So I've seen a lot, and I'm confident that with myself and my experience, of course, leaning into Rick and Gabe, their expertise, and the staff that I'll be able to assemble around me, that we'll do an amazing job.
Yeah, I want to go back to that Atlanta kind of Brooklyn kind of comparison, because you built teams in different ways too. You built that Atlanta team, helped build that Atlanta team without a star really on that team. Then you helped build the Brooklyn team, which was loaded with stars. Sure. How much does having both of those experiences benefit you for this position?
I mean, again, I can't even quantify how valuable that is, because I've seen it both ways, right? And I'm able to say, look, we need that's a dead end. We need to stay away from that, that road. And I think this path may be a little bit more beneficial to us. But there's pros and cons to each one. That 61 team was one of the best years of my life, just being around the game of basketball. You saw guys just pull together. Wasn't necessarily a superstar, but everyone put their egos to the side and played for the team, played for one another, night in, night out. So that was fun. And then, again, spending time with those guys in Brooklyn, whether, again, Kevin, Kyrie, James, all different types of players, but it was a special experience for me because I got to see, what it takes for those guys to be elite. They're all gifted, but they put the work in to be that way. And that was special to see.
I'm really excited to see what you're going to do with this team as we kind of move forward for sure. But, when you look at it, how important was it that the organization made the decision to move on to you relatively quickly after the trade deadline? They come out and they said that this is what we were going to do. We're going to start looking for this position. How important was it to you that Rick and Gabe made the decision now?
Yeah, obviously it's not anything that I could control, but I'm thankful that they did make that decision because most of the time, these changes happen in the summer or after the season. But, the ability to evaluate the team and the staff and everything over these next 20 games is huge. And, I was fortunate to spend a little bit of time with the guys yesterday, and I just told them, I said, guys, look, let's use these 20 games to get better. The season's not over. Let's figure out what we can do individually and collectively to get better.
Is there a chance that you've had to look at this team? You've obviously seen the Charlotte Hornets play, but when you look at this roster, what do you look at as some of the strengths and weaknesses that are on this roster right now?
Yeah, I'm so excited about this roster. I think we have some really young pieces that are going to be amazing going forward. So obviously Brandon and LaMelo, Mark, of course Miles, and then some really good vets you mix in with, obviously I think they did a great job at the deadline bringing in Micic and Berton, Seth, Grant Williams, and some more developmental pieces around the peripheral. Cody, who's out right now. So I think, again, when you step back and look at it, I think we're trying to play the right way. We're trying to play unselfish and compete, and that's all we can ask for at this point. And I think, the more time I get to evaluate, we'll probably get a little bit more detailed in terms of, okay, we need to address this. I feel like we're good in this area.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. You have a relationship with Coach Clifford. How much does that help as well as you're looking at this team and seeing what you have here in Charlotte?
Absolutely. Cliff is the best. He's it's funny, our paths didn't cross until he joined Brooklyn as a consultant on the coaching staff. Before then, I thought he was just this angry man and never smiled and joked or anything. But I was in his office this morning for 45 minutes. We've spent so much time together, golf together, go to dinners. Just he's an amazing human being. He's a damn good coach, and he's really, really a special person. So I'm excited to be reunited with him.
And at the end of the day, everything for you is about relationships and relationship building, it seems like, throughout your career. Isn't that correct? Yes.
Relationships to me are the key, not just in basketball and life. I think it's important sometimes to step back and realize that, you never know what someone's going through personally and professionally. We've all been ups and downs, and we all need each other, in some capacity. So, it's pretty special to be able to develop some genuine, authentic relationships along the way. And some of my best friends that I've met to this day, I've met in the NBA circle.
Well, we all look forward to establishing some relationships with you, as well as Buzz City looks forward to learning more about you. As we get ready to wrap up here, is there one last message that you'd like to deliver to Buzz City to let them know about why they should be as excited as you're this excited right now? I
would just say it starts with them. A big part of the reason that I ultimately took this job because, look, I'm fortunate. I get to go to every NBA city and arena to scout and watch games. This fan base is special. Basketball country, the Carolinas, they're passionate, they're loyal. They have knowledge of the game, and they deserve the best. So I can't wait. It starts with them.
Well, we hope that you can deliver, and we think that you're going to for sure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
For Jeff Peterson, I'm Matt Ruchinski with Hornets.com.